This is how it all started. This was an advertisement or advertisement that appeared in a magazine, and in this ad it talks about Harlaxton Manor at Grantham, Lincolnshire, has a picture of it, and it talks about suitable uses for it, one of them being a school. My name is Steve Worthington. I was in the first class at Harlaxton College in 1971 through 72. It was relatively low-key, actually, in how they promoted it at that time. It was brand new. Who knew if it was going to take off or not? They called us the founding class. We considered ourselves guinea pigs. One of the things that made our class very unique was the fact that there was nothing before us. So everything we did, we were creating history at that time. So there wasn't a lot of publicity as such. Harlaxton is in Lincolnshire. It's 3 miles from Grantham, England. Grantham being the home of Sir Isaac Newton, Margaret Thatcher. It's an industrial town. I had a cubicle. There were 3 cubicles in a room. Our bathroom was a floor down. The showers were 2 floors down. That's changed dramatically. The heating and, well, I'm not going to say air conditioning because that doesn't go, but the heating is so much different than what it was then. You either had scalding hot water or very cold showers. So you had to take, depend on when during the day you took it, whether the boilers were up and working or not. But that has also changed quite a bit. Back then, there were no cell phones, obviously, no computers, no kind of GPS to be found. So you were really relying on a hard copy map. The public transportation, not only in England but in Europe, is fabulous. So the hardest part would be to get from the manor to Grantham train station. Once you got to Grantham train station, you could get to London, you get to Heathrow, and anywhere else in the world you want to go. But it was that 3 miles that was probably the most difficult. I went to a lot of museums. I saw The Scream by Edvard Munch, which was really something special. The Little Mermaid in Copenhagen. Mostly it was museums and the usual tourist kind of traps that you go to. We were fearless back then. The fact that the second week I was there, I just decided to fly to Paris, and we were going to meet. There were 3 groups going, and we were going to meet at the Arc de Triomphe at 4 o'clock on whatever, I guess it was Saturday. They had a parade, tens of thousands of people. We had no cell phone, so we never hooked up. So there I was in Paris. I took French in high school. It's totally different, trying to speak it and understand it in a live setting. I saw 3 plays in England which were very great plays, but 3 that really meant something to me. Kind of after the fact, Julius Caesar and Coriolanus. We saw that at Shakespeare, Stratford-on-Avon, by the Royal Shakespeare Company. This gentleman right here is Patrick Stewart. And Patrick Stewart, as we know, is one of the X-Men. He was Star Trek fame. He is the Sir Patrick Stewart. In the case out there, we have the Godspell original program with Jeremy Irons. And at that time, I think he was maybe 22 years old. Jeremy Irons has won both an Academy Award, an Emmy, and I wrote a little review for one of the letters that I wrote back to my folks. I wrote a review and said that there were no stars in this, just good young actors. Well, 50 years later, Jeremy Irons is one of the top actors going. The other one was Jumpers. And at that time, I knew this one. It was Diana Rigg, who was in a TV, very popular British series that was in America called The Avengers. She also was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. She was the lady that James Bond married for a very short time. And she most recently, before her passing, she was in the Game of Thrones, which HBO, very popular series. This would never have happened had it not been for Dr. Graves. And I think back at the time, when he presented this to the Board of Trustees, that was a pretty big undertaking. And so the university trustees at that time had to be pretty progressive. But now when you look back on it, at the thousands of people that this has touched, the Harlaxton experience is amazing. And one of the articles early on, they got a quote from me and I said, "This is going to be a real adventure." And it was. Okay.
That was a great ending right there. So perfect. Well, thank you, Steve.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you.